Hello, welcome to my symposium. Um, if I had to start off the symposium by giving anybody any kind of advice based on my walkabout experience, it would have to be keep your plan B ready no matter what you think plan A is going to turn out. Just always have that secondary plan ready to go and ready to bounce if you need anything because it's a lesson I had to learn the hard way at the beginning of the year. Um, when certain things happened. But I'm glad it all happened because I probably wouldn't be half as happy as I am now if I had actually gone through with my first walkabout plan. Um, when I started out high school, I was in Mason, West Virginia, in a school called Wahama. I didn't have lots of friends. I had enough friends to socialize and get by. Um, we were very close friends, best friends. And then we moved away. And it felt like my life had been ripped away from me. I felt like I had been on cloud nine, and now I was crash landed in the sea, the ocean, with no escape routes. I was in therapy for a little while in school, and then my counselor recommended us to Graham, where I feel like I've grown a lot more than I did. I'm glad I came here. I am. Beginning of freshman year, I started out with a small friend group, but freshman year when the classes were changed up and much different, I felt like I grew a lot more. I had a lot more friends. I had enough to get by. And I grew a lot freshman year because things were getting real. It was the last 4 years before we were graduating. I had to get stuff done. Well, I already had a lot of stuff done. I took all my electives like the first 2 years I was at school. So it was just really easy, just breeze past everything else. Sophomore year was much like freshman year, and I don't really recall anything of significance happening, or for growth wise. Um, and then junior year happened. Towards the end of of sophomore year, we moved, and I really wish I had enjoyed it more. I I miss I miss the friends I had there. I just wish I'd spent more time with them, but I don't regret moving as much as I do other things that happened during that time. I went from Wahama to Lyndon McKinley High School in Lyndon. I went from a semi-rigorous high school to Lyndon, which isn't at all what I thought high school was, and it was quite the shock. I wasn't comfortable, to say the least. It was very strange the way they did things there, what happened. Um, I didn't really talk to anybody for a good portion of my junior year until we found Graham. Um, I bought a like $2 art app on my phone, and I got a lot of art done, which is what these things are, little examples of things I doodled and did while I was bored with not talking to anybody. Um, Beginning of senior year was quite fun. I was still a bit nervous from my junior year experience, which will probably stick with me for a good long time. Um, but I was a lot more social. Graham felt like home to me. It was different from anything I ever experienced, and yet it felt right. It felt like I belonged, and I'm glad for it. I made some friends. You know who you are if you're listening to this. I made some friends. I took some fun classes. Infectious diseases, uh, paleontology, and Naki's not art elective, art intensive, art English intensive, poetry, um, and it was It was a good time for me. So, at the beginning of senior year, I knew what I wanted to do. I came to Graham with a purpose, and that was to make up for the time that I lost when we moved away from West Virginia my junior year. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to gain experience working with animals. And when we started doing the trips for walkabout sites, I knew what I was looking for, and I was bored because there was only one place that actually looked like I would be able to work with animals all day. Um, However, despite my pure desperation of selection process, I regret nothing. I was very happy at Sewell, and I'm glad that what happened to me happened, because otherwise I wouldn't be half as happy as as I am now, um, having gone to cat welfare and done what I did there. Um, my walkabout journey has been quite the experience, and I'm sad to see it go. Um, my first walkabout choice, Playful Pets in Franklinton, fell through. I mean, it didn't feel right to begin with, but after that fell through and I realized just how much work it was going to be to get everything lined back up, I just got super dejected, super depressed. Nothing really felt worth doing. I'd lost, like, it looked like I was going to fail high school. Nothing felt right. It was just horrible. And then, through a little bit of Google searching and a little bit of research, I found cat welfare. And cat welfare really, really saved my butt when it came to this walkabout. Um, and that's one of the reasons why I'm super glad that Playful Pets fell through. It didn't feel as alive as cat welfare does. Um, Everybody at um, Playful Pets felt like they were doing it for the money, but at cat welfare, it feels like they were doing what they were doing to help the animals, and I can always admire that. And I'm glad I was able to work with the people that I worked with and meet the people that I met. Um, yeah. So what I had to do at Cat Welfare Association, I would go in, I would sign in on this long list of volunteers, um, long list of long list of volunteers, this sheet full of volunteer names, and I would then go clean litter boxes, socialize the animals, and then when I needed a break, which happened a lot because I was doing a lot of I was doing a lot more walking than I used to. Um, I would sit down with a laser toy and just play with the cats until Gail, my mentor, came through and asked if I wanted to help her with any of the projects she was working on. A lot of the times it would be just simple grunt work office tasks like addressing envelopes, and one time I folded T-shirts. I folded a bunch of T-shirts in like a day. Um, the picture at the bottom left, is that I was trying to address an envelope, and Ralph like decided he really wanted attention, so he just like was all over me as I was trying to address these envelopes for the alteration program that Siwa has for feral cats. It's super fun. My daily routine, riding along with my mother. I'd wake up at the crack of dawn. We'd get in the car and start driving. We would drive to we'd drive to the food pantry first and pick up the food boxes that her clients um, at her therapy psychological place would need. A lot of them are diabetic, so there were specialty food boxes that she had to pick up, which was a little extra step. And I would help her carry them out and help her select some of the breads and foodstuffs that they would need. And then we'd get back in the car and we'd drive to their houses, and she'd go in and talk with them, and I'd stand quietly in the corner and listen. And I think whenever clients actually we got our dogs, which is kind of cool. Um, Originally, my essential question at the beginning of Walkabout was, can I obtain enough knowledge of dog behavior through Playful Pets to train my dog? Then that fell through in spectacular fashion, fireworks and all that good stuff. Then I questioned my sanity, and then the question was, can I get enough real work experience from this internship? The answer is yes, because, pure desperation. Um, but I really did learn a lot about health and safety when it comes to animals, and especially cats. Um, like how germs are primarily spread from cat to cat to cat. And because I was always there, and they would often do volunteer orientations for volunteers who need to do specific things, like sanitation, cage cleaning, etc., etc. And those are good to sit in on. I got a lot of experience from that. My life after high school is pretty cut and dry. Um, right after high school, in June, I start going to Bradford College, a very small career college, just not too far from my house. It's why it's going to be easy to go. So for 18 months right after high school, I will be working towards my associate's degree, and from there, I will be able to get um, a job working as a vet tech. It's pretty easy. A slide full of cat photos because cats. I could talk for days about these cats because they were just so full of character. So this was Minnie, right as I was leaving Siwa for the last time. She was getting adopted and leaving Siwa, hopefully for the last time. Um, and so I just took a picture because I was on my way out and she was on her way out, and it just felt right. Um, this is Lady. She is very photogenic, as you can tell. Miss Lady here. So these two are the same cats. This was Clove, and this was Cumin. Cumin was her little brother's eyes, because I'm not sure if it was a birth defect or if he was injured, but they were very happy, healthy kittens. Um, they were very cute. I adored them for the day that I was with them, for the day that they were there. This is Bond. He's a lap. He's one of the many lap cats. He's like a paper. He's like a person weight, paperweight for people, and you just keep people. Like there would be people sitting down, and then Bomb would just come over and go, "Hello, this lap is mine now." Moving on. Lily is the same way. She loves laps, but she's a little more polite about it. She actually lets you pet her instead of just sitting there and meow when you try to get up. She's also not objecting to chests either. Like I was sitting in a chair and Bond was already on my lap, so she decided to come over and wanted to be sit in a lap too. So she just climbed on my chest. I was just coated in hair that day. It was horrible to try to wash. It was horrible. Um, Before I end this, I just want to say that thank you for sitting and listening to me to ramble through this. And even if life hands you the worst possible deck of cards imaginable, you should always try to find the best possible outcome. I'm glad that things happened the way they did with Playful Pets, and I'm glad to have had the struggle of trying to find another walkabout site, and I'm glad to have found Siwa, because if Playful Pets had gone through, I would be doing this presentation on cats, or on dogs, rather than cats, and I'm just glad that the things that happened did happen. So always try to find the bright side of situations, and try to power through them as best you can, and keep up to date on those journals. Goodbye.